When it comes to the cameras, the iPhone XS and the iPhone XR share nearly the exact same specs. Same camera on the front, and same main camera on the back. Except, of course, the XS has two. But is that extra camera worth the $250 or more that you'd be spending on the higher-end model? Well, that's why we're here. I'm going to take the XR and the XS on a little photo shoot. If you're looking at the photos on the phones, the ones on the XS might look a little bit better. Colors appear to be more vivid and there's better contrast. But that probably has little to do with the camera and a lot to do with the screen. OLED on the XS versus LCD on the XR. Once off the phones though, they should look exactly the same. Because for general shots, they share the same main shooter with the same processing power and smart HDR feature. And the results are impressive. Same goes for selfies. They both have that 7-megapixel true-depth camera that can take regular or portrait mode selfies. And video will also look the same. In fact, both these guys have one of the best video cameras we've ever seen on any phone. Now where you will start to notice a difference is with the zoom. The XS uses that second telephoto lens as an optical 2x zoom and then pushes to digital beyond that, which means photos at the same zoom will look sharper on the XS, and it can get even closer than the XR, which uses software only. But the most practical tool about the zoom on the XS is actually that 2x shortcut on the camera interface. That's convenient for quick one-handed zoom. You'll probably notice the biggest difference in portrait mode. They both do it, but the XS is using that second telephoto lens and it crops in closer, whereas the XR is using software only, so you have that wider angle field of view. The downside is it only works on humans. This means no objects, no plants, no backshots, and no animals, which as a pet owner is kind of a bummer. The only way to get portrait mode on the XR to work on animals for now is with a third-party app, or if you add a human, or tiny human, to the frame. And sure, the end results look just as cute on both phones, but getting it on the XR was a struggle. I had to readjust my distance multiple times for it to lock into portrait mode. The XS also has more information to work with coming in from both lenses, so it's a little bit better at determining where to apply the blur, and the edges tend to look softer. But subjects look sharper on the XR, and you can fit more into your shot. Plus, you still get that slider tool to adjust the intensity of the blur before and after you take the shot, and those lighting effects, minus stage light and stage light mono. The downside of having the wider angle lens, though, is that it can start to distort the subject if you come in too close or position your subject along the edges of the frame. The upside is your low-light portraits will look a lot brighter and sharper on the XR because it uses that wider aperture lens that's able to let in more light. This portrait in the dimly lit tiki bar taken on the XS is barely usable, while the one shot on the XR is by no means perfect, but at least you can make out the subject and the scene a lot better. At the end of the day, both these phones are going to take great photos because they share the same main camera. Now the question is whether or not you need that second lens, and it really depends on what you're using it for. I, for one, take a lot of portraits, and I want to have all the options available, so I would probably still splurge on the XS. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below or hit me up on Twitter, and make sure to watch our full review of both these phones on CNET.com.